right. Come on. Jessica. Yep. Jennifer, I'm sorry. I keep calling her Jessica, and she's been around forever. I do want to say this about Jennifer. She was a hairdresser as well, and her license were getting ready to expire, and she talked about getting them renewed, her beautician license renewed, and she said, well, I just don't have the money. And I said, sweetheart, I'll give you or loan you the money. And she looked at me and she says, no. She said it was because of that quick money in my pocket that I used every day, those tips. And she said, so I'm not going back into that profession. Now, it worked for Jordan, but she realized that it was not going to work for her. So she let those beautician licenses go and went to work. Go ahead.
Before I came here, my life had gotten so bad. Sorry. My life had gotten so bad. I don't even know where to start. I just wanted to die because I didn't see any way out. I was living in, well, I didn't have anywhere to live. It was just, I would go from motel room to motel room hoping I could get another night, you know. And I had already lost all my children, and I didn't have a car, I didn't have a job, I didn't have any ID, I didn't have, like, anything. I had a little bag of clothes that I carried around with me. And one day I just told God, I was like, if this is what my life's gonna be, just let me die. Just don't let me wake back up. I don't want to get up and do this, not one more day. And about a month later, I ended up going to jail, and a girl there had been here, but she had to finish her sentence in jail, so she gave me the address, and they allowed me to come stay here, and I got my life together. I got myself together first. That goes back to being patient. You have to really just be patient with God. Everything I have, I didn't get all in 1 year. It took time. My job, my children, I got them back. You just really have to be patient and content. When you feel yourself being discontent, ask God to ground you again, you know. And my son, I'm going to share his testimony.
Yes.
RJ came here when he was 3, and he couldn't talk, and he couldn't really walk good. They told me when I took him to the doctor that they thought he was autistic, and that broke my heart, you know, to hear that. But I just believed God to heal him, and we took him to the doctor in Atlanta where they wanted to go to the autism center, and they told me that they saw several flags for autism in children, and they wanted to just take him home. Is all they could tell me, just take him home, because they wanted to run more tests in 6 months. And when I took him back in 6 months after being here for 6 months, we all just prayed for him and worked with him, and he learned to talk, and he learned to sing and dance. And when I took him back to Atlanta, they were like, why did you even bring him back out here? He was completely healed, and he's doing so well now. All of my boys are doing well.
What year did you?
2013.
So you got 5 years now.
Yeah, and I stayed here for 3 years. I didn't want to come here and do it halfway. I see a lot of people come and go while I was here, and I learned from their mistakes. And while you're here, just go ahead and do what you got to do. You know, don't be fake. Be yourself. Be real. And I would say a big thing is be real with God, because there were times that my prayers were kind of harsh. Like, God, if I'm supposed to believe in you, you're going to have to help me believe in you. God can take it. He's a big God. He can take it. You know, just be real with him and let him work in you and let him show himself to you.
Yeah. Amen. That's right. He's done an awesome job. Hallelujah. It's and she's right. How many? Let's get real right now. Okay. Let's really get real. How many of of you clients and graduates were real before you got here and were honest. Thank you for your honesty. Not a lot, right? How many of you are learning to get real now? It's the only way, right? It's the only way. I know sometimes it hurts, and it hurts people. But honesty is the only way to go. Total honesty. In whatever direction it is. Right, girl? We had a few that's, I just know that God moved in the worship this morning. And we've had a few young ladies that are struggling. This is the toughest program.
Yes, it is.
They'll ever go through. Yeah, ask them. They'll tell you. They'll tell you. It is the toughest. It's boot camp, 12 months, all right? Well, you know, I asked God one time, why'd you let me go through the military? Why was I in the military, and then why was I supervisor for Eagles? And he said, well, I was just preparing you for new beginnings. And it works. I just don't bounce a quarter off the bed, that's all, but it better be made right. But it works. It works. I have to laugh. I'll never forget. This was a couple of years ago. One of the women had gone home on a weekend pass, and when she came back, her mother came out and gave me a big old hug, and I'm thinking, okay. And she said, do you know my daughter made her bed for the first time in 20-some years? I said, but whose fault is that, Mama? It's called codependency, but I'll let Lisa teach on that this evening, okay? In the meantime, we'll go ahead. Jesse, Manita, if you'll come up. Will her family come up and be with her, please? Hallelujah.
God is good.
It's beautiful. Yes.
She graduated on the 18th. Congratulations, sweetheart. Do you see a change in her?
We feel it too. You feel it.
Go ahead, you want to talk?
I'm Ann.
Okay.
But we do feel it and we see it. Just in her voice on the phone, just in her appearance, but we feel it in our spirit. We connect, we see it.
That's awesome. And it's great that she has you in her life.
Amen.
That's awesome. That she's got somebody like you. You got anything you want to say today?
Well, y'all, it works if you work it. It's hard and it's really hard. And I didn't think that I would make it to this day, but I'm glad.
When you got here, were your children with you? How many do you have? A lot of these people don't know you. Give a testimony.
Okay, she's about to go get my babies, okay? Okay, I got 3 babies. Katrina, Catalina, and Cashton. I started using when Catalina was a month old, and I had defects in my life for 4 years. I just wanted to come home, and I didn't want to do what I had to do to get bad. I just left it with my mom, and then finally we went to foster care. And for about a month and a half, I still was out there using, and then I went into a treatment. I got it back. They gave my kids back, but I didn't close the case all the way because they wanted to see if I could do it after I left the program. And I went and stayed with a friend, and that didn't work out. Anyways, I relapsed again, and
Was it a male friend?
it was.
Okay, see, once again.
It was a male friend. I didn't have nowhere to go, so he let me and my kids stay with him. I got pregnant with Cashton. Shortly after that, I relapsed, and this is my Katrina and Catalina. Cashton's at daycare, but I got pregnant with Cashton, and I was going to stop using, because want to get, I didn't want to use while I was pregnant, but I didn't. I kept using the whole time I was pregnant, and I would stop and pray to God. I just want to stop, and I couldn't stop. And I would go to the doctor's office, and they never drug tested me. That was only God, because I would have lost them to my hospital. But anyway, I had cashed in, and I was like, okay, God, I'm going to stop using. And not even long after that, I started using again. And then I lost him and them again. And they went with Diane and Anthony. And after that, I was going to stop using, but maybe I know how hard it is. And I couldn't. I started using the needle. Something I said I would never do. And I got struck out so bad. And I would go see them and stuff, and I just would cry the whole time because I was so high. And then my defense lady, I would ignore her. I would avoid her. I didn't want to get help. And I was like, they're in a good home. She can do them better than I can. You know, I had those thoughts run through my mind. Just let her raise them. You know, I ain't never gonna be the mom that they need. And she's a good woman, you know. And the defense called me and she said, Jessica, I need you to come see me. And I don't care if you're high, I need to see you. And I went to her and I tried to do my makeup and, you know, she ain't gonna be able to tell I'm high. And I went to her and she said, look, she said, we're about to go to court in a month. And if you don't got nothing going for yourself, if you don't have nothing, they're gonna take your parental rights and you will never get your kids back again. And she said, call me or whatever. And so I left and I thought about it and I called her and I went to her detox center and Susan McKenzie, she's a graduate here. She reached out to me on Facebook and she brought me here. Y'all can do it, man. I love y'all.
Love you.
Do not rush your kids here, I'm telling you. Do this program first. It took me 6 months to get my kids back, but do it first because it's so hard when you get them back.
Not everybody has 3 this age. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Thank you, sweetheart. Congratulations. Praise to you. Hallelujah. Holly McKinney. And your family, Holly, bring them up. That's your family, bring them up. She got a big family. Wait till you meet her. You're proud, Holly. And all these that have been there to support her and help her through it. Now let me say this, while I've got the mind. When she said, you know, she went back with that man, and I said, yeah, that's all it took. What I'm saying is because it wasn't done the right way. I was thinking this morning and praying about it. So many situations as I do with different women. And I was thinking about that door and how it's so easy to open that door just a little crack. And the devil gets his foot in there. And once his foot is in that door, have you ever had somebody put their foot in the door and you were trying to close it, but their foot's there and you can't get it closed? Well, that's what happens when you get in with a man and you're living with him and it's in sin. You've opened the door with sin to the devil and you never make it staying clean. It won't happen once that door is open. He comes rushing in and you're messed up again. And every time when someone's had to come back, it's because the cigarette, then the man. Every time. And then the drink or drug. And if it had been done right, you've listened to 2 graduates that are doing it right. One that's married, the other one's taking it slow. She just isn't ready for it yet. But he's a good man. We love you, Marty. He's been very patient with her. Hallelujah. So, we want to hear a testimony from you. How hard has it been and what's your future plan?
Both of my parents are in addiction, and my addiction started at about 12 years old. It just progressed, started with alcohol, cigarettes, just progressed to harder drugs. By 17, I had been pregnant twice. Don't have any of the kids. And I've been in a bad relationship, an abusive relationship for about a year. Me and him were both using. I hit my bottom after my grandmother died, and it sent me spiraling out of control. Well, I knew that something had to give, so I went to Florida. I got sober for a little bit. I thought sober was just smoking a little bit of pot. I thought that was sober. So I stayed sober for about 3 years, got back on it, lost everything. So came back to Georgia and got really out of control, started IV using about 2 years ago, and then I got pregnant with my daughter Abigail, and it still didn't stop me. I still became homeless, lost everything, and still was using the whole time. I got locked up about 6 months pregnant, and got sober till about 8 months, and then at 8 months started using again. I had her, they let me leave the hospital with her. How they let me leave the hospital with her, I don't know. It was just God, and it's crazy because she didn't have her CNA license, certification license to be a foster parent until the day they took Abigail. And they took Abigail at 3 weeks old, and they placed her with Rhonda and Sean, and they have been so supportive of me the whole time. Anyways, when they took Abigail, still didn't stop me. I was still out of control. I painted this pretty picture. I thought I had everybody fooled. I made it to every visitation, but barely. I tried to make it look good. I hit my rock when they locked me up, and they wouldn't let me out of jail. I had to go to 3 different counties, and they wouldn't give me a bond, so there was no getting out. God was really sitting me down. And then I made it to Stevens County, sat in there for about 4 months, and I heard about New Beginnings through my bunkmate and Danny Yearwood, and put in an application, and I got here. And it's not been easy. I'm still dealing with a lot of inner healing. I pray diligently for my family every day. My parents are still in addiction, but I'm believing for God for them, and I believe that out of my obedience, that He will restore that, and He will answer my prayers for my family. And that's about it.
You know, a lot of people get upset with the fact we love them, and we love foster parents because we thank God for them. And this is an exceptional care right here of foster parents that have backed her, and that doesn't happen always, so we thank God for it.
This is my Aunt Hollis.
Your Aunt Hollis and who? Your little sister, and all these.
Yeah, this is my little cousin Delilah, and that's Rhonda and Sean's children.
So they already have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and took on 2 more, right? And he left 2 more at home. So you have how many altogether now? No? How many? They gotta stop and count. They just keep loving on them. That's all that matters. So we thank God for all of them. Amen. It's awesome. And then a blessing.
I've got full custody of my daughter back. And she's over there in daycare. And she's perfect. There's nothing wrong with her. It's nothing but God's grace that did that.
Love you too. Hallelujah. Oh boy, here's the